If your monitor is too small to accommodate all the windows you're working with at once, don't buy a bigger monitor. Buy a second one. In this video, I'll describe how I installed a second monitor for my computer. I've been making YouTube videos for some time now, and it was frustrating because I had to work with 4, 5, or 6 windows that had to be crammed onto that one screen. I had to either shrink the windows to a very small size, or place them one on top of the other, or minimize them and expand them when needed. So I toyed with the idea of scrapping my 23-inch monitor and buy a 32-inch one. To get rid of my present monitor seemed wasteful and environmentally unsound. If I sold it, I would simply be helping somebody else scrap his old smaller screen. You may not agree with this, but the way I see it, if you sell something because you bought a better new one, it's almost as bad for the environment as if you throw it out. A 32-inch monitor would only add about 9 inches in overall width, not very significant. Coincidentally, two 23-inch screens offer exactly the same surface area as one 32-inch screen, but for less money. And for the kind of editing that I do, width is more important than height. If height is more important for you, then it would be worthwhile to pony up the extra money. The difference in price isn't very big. My original monitor is an HP, and since I was very satisfied with the image quality, I opted for another 23-inch HP. The new model has a slimmer frame than the old one, which is aesthetically asymmetrical. But the biggest difference is its mount, which enables a wide range of up and down movement and tilting to a vertical position should I have a document that needs more height. If you're like me, you might be wondering how two monitors are connected to a computer and how to get your computer to recognize them once they're connected. It's much easier than I thought. In case you ask, my computer is a desktop with an Intel Core i7, which is pretty powerful. It does everything I need. I'll let you read the rest. While I'm at it, I might as well mention that my nice new screen is an HP Elite Display E233, just in case that matters. As for how they are connected to my computer, my old monitor, which was manufactured in 2013, has old-fashioned DVI and VGA ports, and an HDMI port, which is more recent technology if I'm not mistaken. It was already connected to my desktop computer with an old DVI cable. If you look at this picture from right to left, my new monitor comes with a square port that looks like a USB port, and I don't know what that's used for. It has a VGA port to allow connecting to some old computers, a more recent HDMI port, and a display port, which I think is the new standard. My computer had 2 available display ports, so I used the DisplayPort cable and plugged one end into the monitor and the other end into one of the free ports at the back of the computer. This leaves me one free port in case I ever want a third screen. This picture shows the double-ended male-to-male DisplayPort cable supplied with the monitor. The old screen, which is my main monitor, is turned on. Now I finished plugging in the new monitor. The power and the display cables are plugged in. Now I turned it on by pressing on the button on the bottom right of the screen and holding it in for a second or two, and presto, it turned itself on. Not only did it turn itself on, but it also automatically connected to the computer. And it happens to be in extended mode, which means that if you have an open file like this, you can place it anywhere on either of the 2 screens, which is very handy. Okay, both screens are on now, and I'll show you what I learned about this. You then have to go into the settings. So select Windows, select the Settings button, select System. It shows the 2 screens, 1 and 2. If you want to know which is which, click on Identify, and the computer shows you which screen is which by indicating a black square in the corner of each screen. Then on the left here, oh, by the way, the one that is blue is the selected one. In this case, I can make changes to number 1, or I can make changes to number 2. So we'll select number 1, which is the new screen. And here we have color, windows. We'll ignore that for now. Scale and layout. If you want to change the size of the text in different apps, you can select more than 100%. The display resolution automatically will be set for the highest resolution of that screen. Both screens in this case are 1920 pixels wide by 1080 pixels high. They're both placed in landscape orientation. That means when they're horizontal, they're in landscape. If I want to put my new screen vertically, I would have to use portrait mode. And if I select that, it then asks me if I want to keep that change. I would say yes. And you notice that the image has been flipped sideways, so that if the which would be correct if the screen was flipped vertically. Okay, we'll put it back in landscape mode, and we'll say keep changes. Next is multiple displays. You can either extend the displays, or show only screen number 1, or show only screen number 2, or we can duplicate the displays, which means both screens will show exactly the same thing. Let's show it. Let's keep the changes. As you can see, let's shrink this window, and you'll see both screens show exactly the same thing. This can be useful if you're attaching a large screen to a laptop. Obviously, it gives you a lot more surface to work with. Now let's go back into the settings. We'll choose settings here, and we'll put the displays back in extended mode. Keep changes. Now I'll just show you one thing about extended mode, and you'll understand exactly what it means. As you can see, it's just as though you had only one wide screen. So it's effectively the same as if this screen was 46 inches wide, which is very handy. For example, I have a file here which is my editing program, and it's very handy because I can stretch this over to the next screen, making it extremely useful. Or you can have a whole bunch of windows and organize them, and they will be bigger than if they were all crammed onto one screen. So let's shrink this and go back to the settings. Now, what else do we have here? Multiple, yeah. So yes, we can show only screen number 1 or only screen number 2. So if you're in the duplicate these displays mode, where both screens are the same, that would be because you've got a laptop and a big screen. You could turn off the screen of the laptop by saying show only number 1, like that. And we're not going to keep the changes. We'll revert. So that's about it for the adjustments. I hope you'll be able to benefit from my recent experience. I always appreciate hearing your views and opinions, so feel free to leave a comment. Of course, this video has nothing to do with electric bicycles and bicycle campers, but if these things are of interest to you, don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to know more about these subjects, or if you'd like information about my books on sailing, visit my website, www.robertberrio.com. Thank you for staying till the end.